Okay, let me throw some questions at you. Firstly, has Steve Bruce, so far in his time in charge of Newcastle, has he gone above and beyond what he should be doing with a club with such tiny investment?
I wouldn't say he's gone above and beyond. I think he's done well with what he's been given. Finished 12th last season, so you can't get away from the fact that that's a decent season for Newcastle in the situation that they are. I totally understand that Newcastle fans have had it in the neck with Mike Ashley and the board. I get that. So protest at them, but not Steve Bruce, because he kept them up. They were favourites to go down last season. They had a bit of a bad spell in the middle of the season where everyone was on his back. They had a bad run of form. But once he got players back from injury, they kicked on and finished the season really well, finished 12th. So I can't believe they're giving him stick in pre-season when the season hasn't even started, after the season that he's had. You know, you have to respect the man for what he's done.
Was that a great season for Newcastle?
No, it was a good season.
What's a great season for Newcastle in the current state the club is at?
A great season for Newcastle.
I'm not talking about, winning the FA Cup. I'm talking about with the amount of funds or lack of funds.
Top 10
okay,
finish.
So not too far away from a great season.
Wasn't far off it. But if you look on average of where Steve Bruce finishes in the Premier League with any team that he's been at, he's around that position. So you know what you're going to get with Steve Bruce. I understand the fans want a bit more, but you're going to need investment. So blame Mike Ashley for that. Steve Bruce can't produce miracles. He's got the squad that he's got. He's got 10 million quid to spend. So it's going to be the same again. If Newcastle stay in the Premier League this season, that's a great season for Steve Bruce.
Excuse me.
I understand that Newcastle fans want more, though.
Well, the thing that I think Newcastle fans want more of, or even some of, is attractive football. They're just bored with the style in which Newcastle are playing.
But it's a catch-22, Andy. I mean, you want to be Norwich, play nice football. They go down every season. They come back up, they go down. We want to be Fulham, play nice football, got relegated.
Okay, what about the Newcastle fans that would rather, and I've had Newcastle fans phone the show before and say, the season that they were in the Championship and they come up, I think they come up as champions, didn't they? When they came up. They were the big fish in I wouldn't say little pond, but they were the big fish in a slightly smaller pond than the Premier League. Some Newcastle fans would rather have that week in, week out, playing good football, attractive football, in the second tier of English football.
No, they wouldn't.
Some would, Jamie.
No, they wouldn't, Andy. You're telling me now Newcastle fans would be happy to watch them play like Barcelona in the Championship?
They would do.
Oh, drop me out.
Those Newcastle fans are out there now.
I'm telling you now, there is nothing better than watching your team play against Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea.
Yeah, but they're losing every week. They lost, I think, 17 games in the Premier League last season.
But they're staying in the Premier League and still getting decent results. Would you want to go and play Barnsley and Rotherham?
I think there's a lot more Newcastle fans out there than you are led to believe that would rather be winning every single week in the Championship than losing every other week in the Premier League.
That is absolute nonsense.
I can understand that. Can you not understand that?
No.
Because in the Premier League, they're going to go nowhere. What's the best that they can hope for in the Premier League?
Being in the Premier League.
But and what does that do you?
What does it do for you in the Championship?
Because then you taste success, you taste glory.
To get back into the Premier League.
No, I know what the eventual goal is. But as a football fan, I'm just telling you what Newcastle fans are. If you're a Newcastle fan and you understand what I'm talking about, maybe you don't, but I've certainly had them phone the show before. If you would rather be playing week in, week out in the Championship and be winning than just being also round in the Premier League.
Andy, if you're playing well and winning in the Championship, then your goal is to get into the Premier League. Newcastle are in the Premier League. Okay, they might play
but you
defensive
understand
style.
that every season with Newcastle, before a ball has been kicked on the opening day of the season, the only thing on Mike Ashley's mind and everyone connected to Newcastle is, before a ball's been kicked, let's stay up. That's it.
Well, that should be what everyone's mindset is.
If you ask West Ham, it's not shall we stay up. It's can we get top 6? Can we get top 4?
That's not true. That's not true. They had a great season last season, and now all of a sudden they want to kick on because they've done it. But they invested. They signed some good players. Newcastle are not signing good players. They're not investing in the team now.
No, I know.
They've got 10 million quid to spend. So how can you have a go at Steve Bruce in pre-season after he's just finished 12th? Kept you up when they were favourites to get relegated.
Is that the only way they can stay in the Premier League, by playing the kind of football that Steve Bruce is making them play? Can they not play attractive football and stay up?
Of course, but it's a risk. They can play attractive football, but you still need investment in the squad. You need investment. You need to sign decent enough players, and that's the problem they have. They haven't got the backing from the board.
Why is Steve Bruce staying at the club?
Because it's a Premier League job, a brilliant football club with a great fan base. That when it is going well, what a place to be a manager.
But you're just going to get pelters. They're his boyhood club.
But that shows the character of Steve Bruce. So they should admire him for that.
Do you think
because any lesser man would probably go, I don't need this, I'm off.
Do you think the fans should not apologise, but just calm down a bit with regards to...
Yeah, they need to lay off him. They need to lay off him. It's pre-season. Why are they booing him in pre-season and singing songs that he's not good enough? They finished 12th last season. Finished very well. He had a lot of injuries last season. He's got a squad in now. He's been told he's got £10 million to spend. Get behind him. Get behind him and support him and give him what he deserves.
Do you think any Newcastle fan that vents their anger towards the manager then in this current scenario with regards to Newcastle and the owner they've got and the lack of funds, do you think that they should all be venting it towards the owner and no one should be having a pop at the manager here?
Well, not unless they start the season, Andy, and they're really poor. If they go 8 games into the Premier League season and they're really bad and they're down the bottom, then fair enough. Then you have to hold your hands up as a manager and say it's not been good enough. But not in pre-season. Blame the board. You want to protest about investment and getting new players in? That's not Steve Bruce's fault. He's probably knocking on his door every day saying, I need money.
Well, why do you think that the fans are targeting the manager? There must be a reason.
He's the easy option.
But Mike Ashley's just as easy, isn't he?
Well, Mike Ashley's not around. They don't see him. So who can they vent their anger at? Steve Bruce. He's the man. He's the guy who's got to stand there and take it.
Is with the money that they've got, or lack of money that they get, the current funds, the players they've got, and the manager, is that as good as Newcastle can hope for at the moment? And unless a new owner's come in, or is 12th?
Well, he's not going to invest. 12th's a good season. Andy.
That's the best that Newcastle fans can hope for.
No, I think that they've got a good side. They've got some good players, but there isn't enough investment in the squad. So there's a benchmark of where you can get to without investment.
Okay. Newcastle fans will take calls. I know a lot of you are quite vocal on social media, but listen, pick up the phone. We want to hear from you. And I really want to hear... I know there are Newcastle fans out there that would rather be winning week in, week out in the Championship.
Then they're idiots.
Then they're idiots.
Idiots.
Okay. Well, if that's you, a Newcastle fan, you'd rather be in the Championship winning every week than losing every week in the Premier League. I'd love to hear from you as well. 08717 22 3344. It's Drive on talkSPORT with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Sell your car in 3 simple steps.